This video is about the exterior equipment of the van. In the earlier video we talked about the interior equipment that I carry, and this one is really about the exterior equipment and the installation of it, and specifically a big mistake that I did that I will gonna cover later on in the video. I'm not gonna start out with my big mistakes, no. Okay, so if you're on this channel to learn how to drive a Pilot car, then you should watch the playlist called Unleash Your Skills, Master Pilot car driving from start to finish. You have to watch each video from start to finish, and that will answer your questions, any questions you may have. You can learn to be a Pilot car driver on this playlist for free. If you want to know about a pro course, then watch the webinar below, link is below, and it includes 3 hot tips how you get business for your Pilot car. Okay, so let's start with the subject. There are 3 major items that get installed on your Pilot car, and if you are like me, who is really not a mechanic genius, then you will need help to get these 3 things installed. So the first thing we're going to talk about is the oversized load sign. The oversized load sign that is on the bumper. The point is, how do you fix that oversized load sign properly to the car? Let's get out. All right, so what you see here is, you see these things I installed on the bumper. You see that one? So I basically took the bumper off, and I did this on both sides. Here the same thing. I took the bumper off and I screwed this in from the inside out, you know. First of all, actually, I taped the bumper on there, and then I made the markings, you know, with a black marker, and then I drilled in it. Actually, the drilling then was done by a guy that helped me on this. Let me just get one of those signs. There are 2 types of oversized load signs. One is for a car, for a Pilot car, for like my van here. And this is a smaller one, you see. And this here, what I'm going to show you now, is the standard oversized load sign that goes on a truck. All right. Here we go. So now, look at the difference. It's huge. Difference is huge between the 2 sides. Of course, mine is a little darker, but it's only because it's old. You see? So, you want to put this sign on your card, not this sign. And on my video about equipment, I'm specifically giving you a link to that sign here. But you also have a link to that sign because you need to carry those signs in case the trucker loses one or more and needs your help. So you see, it's very simple. It gets screwed on here. And that's it. And the same here, etc. You know, on all the sides. That's basically it on that. That's how quickly you put it on, and this is also a guarantee that doesn't fall off. Now, let me show you another way of putting that sign on. You see here a car that I saw recently, a Pilot car, where the Pilot car driver actually put this on the straps, which is pretty usual. I've seen this many times on others. However, that one is specifically interesting because he also has straps that go vertical to keep it in place. Because that is usually the problem when you use these straps, that it can fly off. However, how this guy did it, he put vertical straps on it, and that is not moving. That is, I did quite some trips with that Pilot car driver. This thing did not move. So this is another possibility if you don't want to do this what I did, you know, putting screws in your bumper. Now I am going to add a link to that particular sign in this video again, just in case you haven't bought it yet, so you get the right one. By the way, one thing I want to tell you, and this is, in the last video I forgot to tell you this. This is another kind of equipment I have here. This is where I keep my CB radio. I have a hammer here to check the tires if they are inflated properly or not. And this thing is also self-defense. And then I have here a gauge, a tire pressure gauge. And of course, my glass. Okay, yeah, I just want to make sure you know that. So now we are going to talk about the CB radio and the antenna. CB radio is here. The antenna is up here. Have the installation done by a professional. Tell the professional that you want to have the radio calibrated and you want to have the antenna tuned to the radio. It's pretty normal that this is being done, but I found some CB guys that didn't really just get that they're supposed to do that. So it's good if you say this early in the conversation. The way you find a CB shop is simply Google it, CB shop near me. Let me show you how this looks on my car. Okay, so this is my battery here. You can see when you look here, you see there is actually several wires going up here where it takes the battery. Well, one of those wires is going to the CB radio. So you see the antenna up here, okay? You see there's a space here between the antenna and the back of the car. The specialist at Walcott Radio told me to keep that space there, so the antenna has a place to bounce off and then go on its way. So, another little detail. So let me tell you about the big flop that I had. I got all my equipment installed, actually done by professionals. After a couple of weeks, I noticed that my amber light wouldn't work properly, would turn off and on, patterns would change on the thing by itself. CB radio quality was very bad. It was not very good. At one point, I was driving with some oversized loads. It was actually a cover on several oversized loads. And in the midst of that trip, my amber light utterly turned off. Couldn't be turned back on again. Basically, what happened? I mean, first of all, in that situation, the truckers decided, okay, let's keep driving. Let's keep Herbert between the cars. Hopefully nobody is going to see it. And, you know, let's just complete the trip. And that went fine. We actually didn't get pulled out by the cops. And so the whole thing was completed. But the point is, it was big bad PR for me. It was just really upsetting. Now, what was the reason for that? The reason for that was that the CB radio and the amber light was both connected to the battery. Both took the power from the battery from the same terminal that I showed you in the beginning. Well, that is wrong. That's why I had this disturbance. Additionally, what I showed you before, my antenna is in the back now. Well, at that time, the antenna was in the front, very near to the amber light. Okay, that was a wrong setup. The reason for that is very simple. These amber lights are not insulated. They have zero insulation. So they put out wavelengths or whatever that interfere. The CB radio is not insulated either. That interferes. These things interfere with each other on a constant basis when they are working, you know. So that's why you have to keep these things different. I hope I made this clear. If you have questions about this, definitely ask me in the comments. I always reply on the comments, okay? So in summary, the CB radio gets connected to the battery. He gets the power from the battery directly. The antenna is in the back, 6 inches to 1 foot away from the edge of the corner, from the edge of the roof. The wire gets put down, comes on the floor, down to the front, onto the CB radio. The amber light, a drill was put into the roof, and it is then routed to the wire harness of the car. There you go. That's the simplicity of it, to keep those things apart and so they don't interfere.